up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that
What is up, my friends? We are jumping back into another Modern League match where I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to win the matchup that we are playing against. If you watch the intro to this video, you should know what we're playing against. I, at this time, don't know, so this is a little bit of a surprise for me for the next turn or so until I actually get into the match. With that being said, just a little preface to today's video. The list that we are running in past videos has been changed. We're on 4 Thoughtseize in the sideboard. We took a Grist from the sideboard, moved it to the main deck, shaved in Eldritch Evolution, and we're still on 2 Boseiju. So that is what we are doing today. We are on the draw, unknown opponent, and we have a 1-lander, but we have 3 mana dorks, and they do not have a they don't have a Lurrus, so I'm actually going to keep this hand. We're going to see how this pans out. This might be a disaster. It might have been the right call. We'll see. Ad nauseam? No. Okay. I see Dark Slick Shores. It's like a tongue twister. I immediately think ad nauseam. I don't think that's what this is, but we shall see. Some sort of affinity build of some sort. So if we get to next turn with 2 mana, we're in pretty good shape. Okay, so it looks like affinity. Affinity cookbook. It's kind of a combo, the prototype and the cookbook. See if they have an Asmo. Another cookbook. Got a lot of artifacts. So they do not have, I forget what the card's called, but it's the 4 mana, 4/2 black card, and when it goes to the graveyard, if an artifact comes into play, you put it back in your hand. They don't have that right now. I'm guessing they're playing it in the deck. Scavenging Ooze will be really relevant if they do in fact have that. So we've got a couple options. We can develop our board out further. Wall of Roots, Bird. We can go Wall of Roots, Scavenging Ooze, and manage their graveyard if they do happen to get one of those guys. Or we can just play Grist. And I think I like going wide here a little bit better because it plays better with Yawgmoth, which we're hoping to cast next turn. So that is what our line is going to be here. And just like that, we have the same number of permanents as our opponent, who kind of sort of went off a little bit on their turn. I'm guessing they have Asmo in their deck too, which Yawgmoth is actually really good against because it's a human and Asmo cannot target Yawgmoth. Alright, so they have a lot of weird cards in their deck. Thought Monitor. And right now we're 2-0 in this league. So I'm guessing this person has a winning record at this point. Okay, they got an Emery. That we are going to kill. They have a Pithing Needle in their graveyard too. There's another Thought Monitor. Card we need to be conscious of. I think it's called Metallic Rebuke, where it's a counterspell that you can tap artifacts to cast. My knowledge of card names has faded significantly over the years. There's just so many cards to keep track of at this point. Alright, so I'm going to play the Tomb Untapped to start with. And this is a matchup where having access to Boseiju is really relevant as well. Alright, so that sticks, so that's really good. And I think we can just mow their whole board state here, which I think is what we're going to do. We're probably going to proliferate with Yawgmoth and just get rid of all their creatures. So our life total is getting a little low, but I don't think it's too big of an issue. Alright. That's actually a pretty good draw. Discard a card to proliferate. I think I'm just going to get rid of the land. I can also get rid of a grist. I think we're going to get rid of the land. Now having endurance on hand to eat their graveyard if need be is going to be useful. Turn off auto yields. There it is. Alright, Oval Chase Daredevil is the card. I had an F6'd. I would have endurance that if I could have, if I didn't F6. So we're going to keep an eye on that guy. Let's see. So this deck was kind of, this sort of deck was a thing right after Modern Horizon 2 came out. It seemed to be kind of the flavor of the month when the set first hit the scene. Okay, so I think we're gonna lead with an attack here. Start pressuring their life total. And then I'm just going to build out my board as much as I possibly can. This kind of helps them a little bit, but I think it's worthwhile to play. So I think we want Scavenging Ooze. Ooze can eat the Oval Chase. It can also eat things with the cookbook. I think we'll just pass like this, see what they do. So I can ooze that. They'll activate it again, and then I'll ooze it again. Okay, so there are two of them. I think here I just endurance. We'll eat. Yeah, so I mean, they have a fairly critical mass of artifacts on the battlefield, but they don't really have too much going on above and beyond that. I guess best draw for them is something where they can start chaining together draws, like Thought Monitor into another Thought Monitor into something else. But if they do not have that, probably gonna lose. Okay, so they got this thing. which they can utilize right now once. Okay. I'm actually going to eat something with my ooze right now, because I'll be able to activate my Wall of Roots again. So we're going to make use of that mana while I've got it. Trying to work my way up to lethal here. I think we're going to draw a card. See how close I am to lethal. Beseiju, not a bad draw there. So if I go 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. Trying to go ham here with this Scavenging Ooze. Get this guy big. They have 1 card in hand. We'll see what it is. See if it matters. All right. So 7. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Play out of Verdant Catacombs. We're going to swing with the team here. See if they do anything. Alright, so we're going to add a green. We're going to discard a card and proliferate. Discarding the Hierarch. And then I think we're going to proliferate onto the Wall of Roots as well. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yes, okay. So we got there. So, alright, we're playing against an artifact deck. We have a lot of artifact hate, which tends to go well for us most of the time. I don't know if Thoughtseize is where we want to be. This stuff might just be good enough. I'm anticipating they're going to bring in some form of counter magic. So I'm going to shave an evolution. You don't really have a lot of spells, a lot of stuff to kill our 1 mana dork, so we're going to cut some 2 mana spells, i.e. Wall of Roots. Yawgmoth seems mediocre. We might even shave a Geist. I think we will. Is Grist good? I think we can shave 1 more chord, and I think I'm going to shave a Grist as well. I think we're okay with that. So we'll see how that pans out. Game 2. 4 Endurance might be overkill. We'll see if that's too much, but I mean their engine is graveyard dependent, so. Okay, so this hand is fine. We have a turn 2 Grist. We're gonna keep this. We also have a Beseiju, which is a piece of interaction for what they're doing. I'm starting to keep tabs on Messenger. This is a card that's on my radar in terms of I'm not sure if we want to continue to play it in the deck. So I'm gonna start being mindful of its impacting games. Blood Fountain, okay. So they have 2 artifacts. Alright, and we're going to fetch, I think we're just going to fetch a basic here. Having Twilight Mirror gives us the ability to kind of fix our mana any way we want to, so I'm okay with getting a basic here. I think we'll still be able to cast the messenger unless they get rid of our birds. Asmo. Okay, so they have an Asmo, and they have a cookbook now as well. And I think we're gonna have to get rid of that guy. So we are going to do quick work of him, I think. And what I mean by that is we are going to cast Grist, sacrifice our bird, and get rid of the Asmo. I think we're in a position with our mana where we're not too concerned. You know, I've got the Wall of Roots. I can cast the Boseiju as a land as well. I've got 3 cards in hand. We know one of them is a cookbook. Okay, they're casting a Time Sieve. I believe there's a way for them to go infinite with that, so it's something we're going to have to keep on our radar. Okay, so we'll start by upticking. And from here, I think we go Wall of Roots into Geist. We're actually just pretty close to killing them here. If we can get Messenger and Yawgmoth into play, we'll probably just have lethal at that point. Let's see if that's good enough. Alright, so just passing the turn here. I think they're going to Blood Fountain EOT, which I don't know if that's correct for them to do. I feel like they might want to do that while I'm tapped out to avoid me having something like Scavenging Ooze or something else that can eat their graveyard. Alright, so here the question is, do we lead with Yawgmoth or do we cast Yawgmoth post-combat? And so the consideration is, if we cast him pre-combat, we can draw a card, pump our Geist, deal an extra point of damage. But it kind of shows our hand a little bit. But I think that's correct. Alright, we're going to create a Grist token. And having Yawgmoth in play allows us to channel the Boseiju for 1 less mana now, so what I'm anticipating they're going to do, I mean, we can just draw our whole deck here, may or may not be correct. What I'm anticipating that they do is sacrifice a Blood Fountain, get both of their Asmos back into their hand, cast the cookbook, get one of the Asmos back into play, and then start trying to go crazy from there. But having Boseiju allows us to channel and get rid of the time sleeve. Is it sleeve or sieve? Sieve. While they're attempting to do all of that. Alright, so we're going to swing, I think, just with the Geist here. And we did not make a land drop, so that's something to be mindful of. So we're going to try to draw into a land so we can play out our Young Wolf. Alright, we can afford to sacrifice one more of these guys. get an extra land here. Okay, Force of Vigor's not bad. I think that gives us the ability to play this out. So we have the kill at instant speed if we can get ourselves into a chord, of which we have 3 left in the deck. So that's a consideration. Alright, so Blood Fountain. Do I want to respond to that? I'll draw a couple cards. See if we can find an endurance here. I'll go down to, say, 7 life. Okay, there's the chord. So we have an upkeep win. So I think we're going to do that. Get rid of a land, get rid of an evolution, get rid of another land. Alright, see if they have interaction. And if they do not, they are dead. Alright, so this is the infinite combo of the deck. It is a loop where you sacrifice an undying creature to Yawgmoth's ability. You target the other undying creature. Triggers Blood Artist, drain 1, gain 1. So you stay at the same life, your opponent loses a life. Undying happens. Ooh, they got a Fatal Push. Look at them. Okay. Yeah, that's a thing. And then you can just loop that cycle over and over again. Alright, I think we draw a couple more cards here. So they discard an Asmo. They have another Asmo in their hand, which they will be able to cast. Okay, I think I'll draw a couple here. Okay, there's our other Yawgmoth, so I think that's what we wanted. So from this point, I'm going to let this happen. Oh. Okay, so I think we're in a pretty good position here. I hope. There's the Asmo. I'm going to let him play out the cookbook, activate the cookbook, and then when the cookbook activation's on the stack, I'm going to knock out 2 of his artifacts. Alright, so he's got another land, which is fine. See how he does this here. So unless he has the guy Oval Chase Daredevil, he's not going to be able to activate both cookbooks. So we'll be able to see what he discards. His discard is part of the cost before he gets to actually get the food token. So let's see here. Is it a Daredevil? It is not. Okay, so with that on the stack, you're going to get rid of those 2 and discard a Hierarch. you can have your food token. Good day. Alright, so they're dead now. Assuming, yes, they're dead. Alright, we got a land as well. Another Yawgmoth. We'll make a token with the Grist, which will reset our tokens on our Undying creatures, and then we can kill them from there. They really don't have an out at this point. We'll play another Undying creature just for good measure. Okay. Alright, and they scooped. So, it's a good example of the combo kill in this deck. It's fairly easy to assemble, especially against a deck that doesn't have a ton of interaction. And all these graveyard decks, or all these artifact decks, we have such a comprehensive suite of removal that is really, really good against their decks that I think just about every artifact deck we're favored against. And on top of that, this deck relies so heavily on their graveyard, and we have a ton of interaction for the graveyard as well. It's just not a good recipe for them, and it's a favorable outcome for us. So, and that's, to be honest, I feel like this deck is favored against a majority of the format, so it's super, super strong. With that being said, I'm checking out for the day. I hope you've enjoyed watching this match. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, of course, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, tell me what you liked about the video, tell me what you didn't like. I'm new to this, so I'm learning as I go, and any constructive criticism you might have, I'd be happy to hear. So, it's been real. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in. Until then.